welcome to Topper Machine. I'm Josh Topper. So, as you can tell, I gave in. Vevor had been on me for quite some time to try one of their products and do a review video on it, and to be honest with you, I didn't really want to. A lot of the stuff they have, I already own a higher quality version of, and just so happens a job came in recently that I started looking, thinking maybe there's something I could use, and just so happens they have a product that's very similar to the high quality ones that I would normally buy, and we'll give it a try. So let's get this thing out of the box and see what it is. Come on! All right, so what we got here is a lifting magnet. And this is a 1,500 kilogram magnet with an on-off switch. I think it's 3,300 pound lifting capacity. And it looks like some assembly required. And nice, it comes with white gloves. So just to keep it clean. All right, here's the handle. So let's get this thing out of here. I'll get it up on the boring mill table and we'll take a good look at it. All right, so this is kind of a beast of a unit. It's a lot heavier than I expected. Here's the handle. We'll go ahead and get that put on. Comes with an Allen wrench to do the handle. That's simple as that. I guess there are instructions. I probably should look at those. So of course everything comes in metric by the specs here. So you have to figure out what it really is in pounds. I think this one's 3,300 pounds, which is a little more than I had originally wanted, but they didn't have any of the size smaller, so. And reading the instructions here, yep, they're there. So basically, it's a permanent magnet. And you flip the lever and lock it on, and it isn't going to go anywhere. So what we're going to actually do is test this thing out a little bit. I've got a load cell coming. We'll try that out, but before we do that, we'll hook it to my crane, which is right here. Okay, so dangling from the hook here, you can see it's a little bit heavy on this end. She wants to sit kind of downhill on this end, probably because the handle is not very well balanced. Now we're going to go ahead. I've got it, my crane here is a 2-ton gantry with a hoist. We're just going to lock it down to the mill table and see what it does. All right, she's locked in. Well, that's extremely disappointing and unexpected. It should have held to this table just fine. It didn't even put a strain on the crane. I mean, it hardly even put anything on it. So I'm gonna wait for the load cell I ordered. Of course, I ordered a Vevor there. I paid for that one. Hopefully that thing works and is accurate. I'm really curious what this thing will actually do. So when that arrives, we'll hook this back up and we'll try that again. Okay, well, the load cell just came, and this is a Vevor also. I just bought this. Actually, I bought it for a couple of reasons. One, for use around here in the shop, and two, to test this thing, because that was just weird. It didn't make any sense that it would pop off. I read through the manual, though. It did say it's 50% rating on cast iron, which a cast iron table. But it sure seemed like it popped off with a lot less force. So let's try this again with the load scale and just see what we can get to. Now, again, this hoist is a 2-ton hoist on a 2-ton gantry, and it didn't seem to move either. So let's see what happens. All right, so I'm just gonna bump this up nice and slow, as easy as I can. Well, that's 830 pounds there. 2455. All right, we're already at what the magnet is rated for, actually passed. So apparently I was beyond what I thought, and it didn't seem like it. There's 4,000. Yeah, so at about 4,000, she pops off. I guess seems like a good unit, actually. I thought definitely took less force than that, but this crane obviously it's got a lot more power than I thought it did. All right, well, let's take this thing and let's test it out on some material. Try moving some steel around, and as you can see, it's a hefty little unit. We're 84 pounds on the scale here just for this apparatus, this lifting magnet. So I mean, it's a heavy little unit. Okay, so we're gonna test this thing out on the cylinder for my steam traction engine. I have a Baker 2175 steam traction engine, and this is the cylinder. I have to bore it. This will be an upcoming video on the boring mill. We'll bore it and then hopefully true it back up, and now I gotta make a new piston rod, a few things like that. So there's gonna be a few videos there, but I'm curious what it weighs, because my brother and I lifted it off of my engine, and it was a lot heavier than we both expected. This thing is pretty solid with the steam chest. We're gonna try out the lifting magnet, and because I'm so nervous about this, I'm not gonna go very high, but we'll lift it up and make sure it'll pick it. This magnet does have like a V-groove in it for rounder material, so let's just see what it does and what this thing weighs. Seems like I got a firm grip there. Well, picked it up. Huh, 322 pounds. Yeah, it felt like that when we lifted it off my engine. So let's try some other materials, see what else it'll pick up. All right, what we got here is an upcoming job. This is some AR 500 plate that I need to drill and countersink for some bolts. These are wear pads in a conveyor for a rock crushing plant. And there's 8 holes drilled in it and countersunk. They're 3/4 inch thick, 4 foot by 4.5 roughly. They're just under 4.5 wide. So let's pick up the sample piece, see what that one weighs, see how it handles it. We'll set that out of the way, and then we'll pick up one of the good sheets and see just how much they wore off of this plate, this original. So 255 pounds for this first sheet, and as you can see, she's wore pretty thin. She gets a lot thicker out here at the end. And then underneath are the 3 sheets that I need to turn these into one of these that's not wore. So one of the reasons I wanted this lifting magnet was this exact reason, for lifting plates off of each other. And as you can see, that one we took off was 255 pounds. This one's 563 pounds. So 308 pounds difference. They wore 308 pounds off of that plate. So, but this is definitely nice for picking sheets off of a pile, because otherwise you got to struggle to get a bar under there or whatever it takes to get that lifted up so you can get the forklift under there or get a strap around it or whatever you need to do. And this is just as simple as hook it on, pick it up. It does take some force to latch this thing, but I think overall I'm pretty happy with it. So overall, I'm gonna say I'm pretty impressed with this, especially now knowing that, you know, it's with the load cell, I know what it's pulling, and I feel safer knowing that it's what it's pulling for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and stack these sheets back up until I get started on the job, which will be a little bit yet due to I'm actually building some new fixtures for the radial drill for doing this kind of stuff. So once I get that table built, I'm building a bigger table is what I'm doing, and then once I got that, then we'll set up and drill these plates. Well, after that initial screw up there where she popped off on me and not knowing what I was actually lifting, I'm very surprised that my gantry crane and my hoist are actually capable of that. They're both rated at 2 ton, which is what I wanted in here, but the gantry didn't move at all and the hoist didn't even struggle. I mean, and I hit 4,000 pounds. You saw lifting, that's 2 ton. This thing didn't pop off until then. So I'm glad I bought the load cell. I think this was like $150, $170. I bought this just to prove that this was good or bad, and I'm glad that I did buy it to prove that, because otherwise I'd have given Vevor a bad review on this, and quite honestly, I'm very impressed. I generally don't like to do review videos, especially on, you know, tools and stuff, because what if it is bad? Then I gotta give you a bad review and you know, maybe I just got a lemon. So very impressed with this so far, and I'm gonna find a lot of uses for it here in the shop. Vevor did give me this for this review video. I did buy the load cell separately. Like I said, I'm just very impressed overall now that I have the actual data to back up the product. So if you're interested in one of these, there's a link in the description with a coupon for, I think, 5% off. Check out their products. They've got some decent stuff. I'm not gonna lie, especially, you know, like something like this lifting magnet, I'm very impressed. And this load cell, this is gonna come in handy around the yard with the crane also. So with that, till next time, get out in your shop and get it done right the first time.